Okay, we're back again today. Do y'all have any questions about the stuff we went over the other night? Guys, we covered a lot of stuff. We're starting to cover a lot of stuff, and it's important stuff. So hopefully you used it. Yeah? No?
A little bit.
A little bit? Yeah? Okay. So we covered conflicts, trouble spots, stuff like that. So y'all have any questions about the stuff we went over? No? Okay. We're going to talk about colors today.
Let's see how Eclipse gives you total control over your display colors. Color selections are not just for expressing your individuality. This example uses one color for translated text, another for text that was typed in, and a third for text that was added by the scopist.
Y'all see that?
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so that is the whole purpose of the colors. So it tells you different things. Okay, it's going to tell you, you know, what stuff that you pushed. How do you type in text? And translated text will always be black. That's the basic one, okay? It's usually always going to be black, and then the different other colors are going to be other stuff that you're doing. So you're either fixing on translates, conflicts, stuff like that. Even stuff that your scopist puts in is in a different color, okay?
These two colors distinguish a conflict that was resolved by the computer and one that was resolved by the user. Let's change the color for form fields. Settings, display, color selections.
Okay, do that right now. Go into your user settings. How do you do that? User settings.
You. I just clicked on the little picture.
Huh?
On
Cheater.
The little picture that said.
Cheater. Alt U. You should have written this down
I'm
already.
a little behind. On what lesson are you in?
That I'm behind?
I said I'm a little behind.
Oh,
What
oh.
lesson are you in?
Lesson
Trouble
E.
spots.
Trouble spot.
Trouble spots. Okay.
Yeah. So those of you that are a little behind, we're in trouble spots. Colors. Okay? So you should be maybe just on your screen where it says Eclipse or whatever. I don't really care where you are. Go into Alt U. Alt U. User settings. User settings. Okay? Display. Color selections. Just kind of go along with what he's telling you to do. And this is how you're going to change form fields. And you're going to see all the different categories that you have for everything.
Form fields are just one of more than 20 items.
So you can do untranslates, you know, conflict selected, print commands. I mean, there's a whole myriad of stuff that's in here. So
For which you can assign.
let me back up just a little bit. And I think they kind of showed it. It was real quick.
One of more than 20 items for which you.
See, they have like question paragraphs, answer paragraphs, page numbers, line numbers. All of this stuff you can put in a different color. Okay?
Can assign a background and a foreground color. Let's change the background color. You can select from one of many basic colors, or define a custom color, and then add it, select it, and say OK.
You see that? You see how they did that? It's pretty easy. It's not real hard. Guys, this kind of goes back to the old thing of the user setting things, remember? I told you. Be careful when you start changing stuff in here. Okay? And I'm just going to give you an example, but say you like green, and they're going to show you in just a bit that, I mean, you can change the different colors of green all the way down, from as light to as dark. So say you like green, and I want to use this, and then this little shade of green, and this little shade of green for this. So everything is green. No, I wouldn't. You do whatever you want, but they're just showing you how to do it.
But you also have the option to display all text in one color. This is a quick way to simplify the appearance of your screen, and it's a very popular feature for those who do real-time writing for the hearing impaired, CART writers.
So if you're going to do CART, that's the way they do it. They don't do anything in color. They don't. So because it doesn't need to distinguish anything while you're translating for the person that's hearing impaired. Okay? So they just do it in one color. So if you just like everything in one color, it doesn't really matter to you what is going on, then that's the way to do it. You have that one little button, all one color or whatever. But if you're, I mean, it usually comes already set up for you in a way where everything is like totally different colors. You know, so you have some orange, blue, red, yellow, whatever. So they kind of spread it out to where everything is different. It's not going to coincide usually with something else. Okay? Got that? Any questions about colors?
Here's an important tip concerning Eclipse Artificial Intelligence. It only learns new rules when you place your cursor on a conflict and pick the correct choice. If instead you just place your cursor on a conflict and just type new text, Eclipse learns nothing.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Huh? It's exactly what I've been telling you. The more you use it, the more it knows what you're doing. When you use it like that, you're just typing stuff in, it's learning absolutely nothing. Zero from what you're doing. Okay, so it's nothing more than a glorified typewriter. Okay?
In other words, Eclipse can learn when you pick a conflict, but not when you type over it. Also, you should make your first conflict choice the more likely one. Then, in the Translate section of your user settings, you'll be able to ask Eclipse to pick the first choice when it otherwise would not know how to resolve a conflict.
You understand that? And we're going to kind of go through conflicts and stuff like that. And, you know, if you want to do that, fine. The whole point of creating a conflict is to create a conflict because there's a conflict.
Oh, yeah?
Duh. You know? So the artificial intelligence usually will be able to decipher which one it needs. But I mean, even if it picks the wrong one or whatever, all you have to do is just go and change it. It's no big deal. But if you select that, pick the first one, it's always going to pick the first one. So it's kind of defeating what you're trying to do with the conflict. But most of the time, it should be able to pick out the one that it needs.
Sometimes a conflict will occur in an exceptional context, and you'll want to pick a conflict choice but not teach a context rule. If so, just hold down the Shift key and press the conflict choice number. That will take care of the exception without affecting what the artificial intelligence has learned.
You understand what it's telling you? So remember I was telling you when you have table with a number, usually it's going to specify that specific table. Okay? So that's why you set it up in your conflicts as, let me back it up.
Affecting.
See how it has it right here? Where usually when it's with a number, it's going to be capitalized because it's going to be talking about that specific number. Well, where is that from? The table 11 report cited. Oh, okay, it's not a certain table report. It's just the table 11 reports, you know. So it's not table 11 reports that blah, blah, blah. So that's why it wouldn't be capped. So there, you don't want it to be capped. So do you understand what it was telling you about using the shift 1, shift 2, whichever one is appropriate, and picking it? This way, the artificial intelligence learns, oh, you know what? When it's with a number, it's always capped. That's the way you have it here. That when it's with a number, it's always going to be capped. Okay? Well, you didn't need it capped here. So every time you use it like that, and you just pick number 1 and number 2, and it's capital T, now it's learning that every time it's with a number, regardless of what, it's going to be capped. Got it?
What the artificial intelligence has learned. Much more could be said about conflicts, but this is the subject of a separate, in-depth ePower video tutorial that includes a conflicts kit with dictionaries that contain hundreds of entries that have already learned how to resolve beautifully. So this is a great way to take full advantage of Eclipse translation magic.
Any questions? All right. Okay, now it's a little your turn thing, remember? So you can come down to that and you can do that, okay? You had a complaint about, which one is it gonna be? Not everybody at one time.
The first one.
Yes,
The second one.
number 2, yeah. So you can go through there and kind of do it yourself if you want to. We're not going to spend too much. We're not going to spend time on that. But you know, I will kind of show you. So you're right there. You pick number 1. See how easy it is. What y'all say that one was? Huh?
The second one.
Second one. What about this one?
Almost there?
Which one?
The last one?
No, it's going to be the last one.
Yeah.
It is the last one. I didn't see the comma after that. Yeah. So it's 3. Actually, no, it's not that.
No, it's comma.
You back up.
Yeah.
So what was it? 4 examples in there?
I couldn't tell with all the little.
Yeah. And really, you don't need all that gibberish, you know, or whatever. I mean, to set up a conflict like that, whatever. You can if you want, but what about this one? Huh?
The first one.
What? Okay. And that's how you do it. So you don't have to go in, press in, type on the job. You don't have to do all of that. All you do is select the number that it is, okay? Any questions?
Let's see some of the choices that AutoMagic offers for resolving dictionary conflicts. Eclipse conflict resolution works so well that many users start creating conflicts to improve their translation results and reduce their editing time. Of course, context can be ambiguous, and if Eclipse does pick the wrong choice, AutoMagic will make it easy to correct. So here, if I press 1, that picks the first conflict choice.
Or how do we reverse the words?
There's a R. There's a R.
Very good. Very good.
Shift.
Huh?
Shift R. Shift R.
Oh, I do. Toggle. Toggle, right?
Toggle.
What is it?
Shift R?
Shift R. Yeah. Did you say that? Speak up. Are you scared?
They were saying
You scared of saying it wrong? Huh?
We're saying it loud.
Were you?
That's why she got the answer right.
It's my bad ear.
I looked at my notes.
Here again, I've simulated another incorrect conflict choice, and so I'll press.
So you see how, you know, maybe you stroked it wrong, they didn't. But maybe you stroked it wrong and it has the wrong meat in there. Okay? AutoMagic is always going to give you different examples of, well, did you mean meat, 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 heat, might, mode? So, I mean, it's always thinking ahead. Always thinking way ahead of you. Okay? So it's always going to give you different So always look over here if that's not the right word, okay? Because more than likely, they probably figured it out for you in one of the examples, all right?
Press 1 to pick the right choice for meat. Here's an example of using a conflict so that Eclipse can help you with punctuation. The conflict did resolve correctly, and with my cursor now at the end of this sentence, Automagic is seeing that I might need to put a question mark. I could press 4 to do that, but Automagic is also trying to teach me the hyper key or speed key. Here's a conflict.
Which is what?
Q.
Huh?
Q?
Q. In hyper keys is Q for question mark at the end of the sentence, remember? And a period is what?
That involves hyphenation, and I've simulated the need to choose choice 2 to select up to date with hyphens. This is actually 3 conflicts in a row, and my cursor is now on a conflict between the word number and capital NO period if it comes before a number. Eclipse chose the right choice, but if it had not, I could have chosen the choice from the Automagic list. Here's a conflict that helps with punctuation. Sometimes I tend to write the comma, sometimes I leave it out, but the conflict anticipates the need for commas or not. Finally, here's a conflict that helps with capitalization. What would happen if I needed to choose choice 2 to capitalize the word street? This entry in the dictionary starts with a command to capitalize the previous word.
Did y'all see that too? So it's a specific street, okay, and it didn't have it. You know, maybe you write state wrong. I mean, state, just state. So state, you're questioning as to which. I'm from the state of California. You write them the same, okay? If you know that it's going to be capped, remember I told you asterisks, gonna kind of become your best friend? To become conflict-free writing, okay? So there's always ways of getting around that. That's the way that I write my may. Or we may go to the store, I don't know. Or when did it happen? It happened in the month of May. So if you're gonna write those the same, then just be prepared. You can create a conflict, or you can just kind of learn how to write conflict-free. You see what I'm saying?
Capitalized the word state. For each of these conflict entries of various sorts, Automagic not only makes it easy to pick the appropriate choice, but it gives you other possibilities as well. Perhaps you need to delete the conflict in a particular spot, or global the steno to mean something else. Automagic makes it easy.
Got it?
Got this.
Pretty easy. Okay, now they're going to talk about form fills. Remember what I told you? What is a form fill?
About the witness name or?
Yeah, a fill in the blank. Yeah, so like the witness name, date, type of hearing.
Let's see how Total Eclipse form fields make it easy to fill in the blanks for information that changes from transcript to transcript. There are several ways to begin filling in the blanks. You can click on a toolbar menu, or go to the production menu, or use speed key Control E, or hyper key.
Did y'all write that down? I've already told you guys about this one. It's Control E. Okay? Control E allows you to create a form fill. How do you get into a form fill? Glad you guys have been listening. How do you enter a form field?
I have Shift E.
Huh?
Shift E.
To enter?
To create field. Or is that wrong?
To create?
Is open text. I don't know. Is it just
Shift E?
I have Shift E. I don't know.
To create? It might be Shift E. Might
It
be
says field
shifty.
label. It pops up in the box and it says field label.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Okay.
So it's shifty is to create a form field,
You
okay?
said control.
Huh?
You said control.
Yeah,
No,
no.
That on there says control, so.
Well, this
that
is
was
fill in
to
blanks.
fill in the blank.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fill in.
So maybe it's when you're not in hyperkeys that it's Control E. Okay? So we'll try it here in just a bit. Okay? But how do you enter a form field to fill it in?
Just press E.
Just press E. Very good.
Just
One person that was listening that
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Almighty. Give me all the answer. How do you enter the form field?
E. In this blank, I'll type in a number, and pressing enter is okay. Blanks can be set to automatically adjust their size to accommodate your text, and to delete the entire line thereon if you leave the blank empty.
So you see what it's saying right there? So like if you have this whole long thing, say it's the law offices of Delgado, Ramirez, Sanchez, Valdemar, and Smith. Really? That thing it's just going, okay? Well, if you have it and you don't have that adjust line, it's gonna put it all the way across, okay? And maybe you have these, you know, little sectors that kind of break it apart. This is an example right here, okay? So see how it's different right there? See how it breaks it apart? Now it's gonna run it all the way across if you don't have that adjust line, okay? I'm gonna rewind it just a bit and kind of show you or whatever.
Quickly adjust their size to accommodate your
So right there, the auto adjust.
What's your? Mine came out with attorney info after. Why? What is that?
After what?
I pressed enter, and they gave me attorney info. What is this little window?
On what?
On the form field.
You pressed E and it came up that?
No, I pressed enter after I. Oh yeah. After I highlighted and it.
Yeah.
I put. Okay.
Because they're going to show you this. And that's what this is. So like if you have an attorney list, you can start creating lists for like different hearings, all the months of the year. If you want to put all the days in there, I mean, you know, 1 through 31, anything. You can create these little, and they'll explain it here in just a bit.
text, and to delete the entire line thereon if you leave the blank empty.
So if you leave it empty, all it's going to do is just delete that line, okay? And that's what it tells it. That if you didn't put anything in there, then it's just going to delete that line, okay? So be aware, but be careful with that, because if you just leave it blank, it's going to delete that line.
So the line that was here was automatically deleted. Blanks can also be set to completely capitalize whatever text gets placed in them, and to look in a list file to give choices.
And that's what I'm talking about, a list file. So like on certain kind of hearings, on the front page, see how, and I don't know if you can see it, but this is a motion to suppress. It's all capped. I do mine in bold too. Mine is capped bold, okay? You can do whatever you want, you know, to me, and it just highlights, it highlights in more. You know, it's like, oh, well, where's that? You know, to me, it makes it easier for the attorney. Where's that? Oh, yeah, the motion to suppress. And it just kind of pops out. So you're looking for the, oh, that's a deposition. Oh, here's the motion to suppress. It just kind of pops out. So he just has to look, or she just has to look for the certain hearings, and it just pops out. That's why I do it. You can do it however you want, but they're telling you how to do it.
This blank knows how I filled in the witness's name in other spots in my transcript, and it's prompting me in case that information has changed.
You see that?
Fido.
So once you fill it in one time with that, usually it'll bring it up. Fido. Went to high school with that cat. but it'll usually put it in there, okay? And maybe it is the same one, maybe it's not. But remember what I told you, when it's highlighted like that, all you have to do is start typing and that thing goes away, okay? Or you just press OK and it puts the witness's name that you used on the other one in there.
I'll just press OK. And finally, form fields can make it quick and easy to insert client information.
So you'll have to go in there and manually put all of this information in there. But usually if you do it one time, then all you have to do is just pick that name out, Mr. Christopher Cilio. You know, and you know, maybe it was Mr. Johnson. So you'll have to put, you know, pick Mr. Johnson, you know, if he was the one who took the deposition the next day of whoever, but he's with the same law firm too. Okay? But you don't have to type in all of this stuff either. It's already all there.
Within these short presentations, it's not possible to show all that form fields can do. So a separate in-depth e-Power video tutorial is available on form fields and automatic indexing.
Got it? Yeah? That's what it does. The Control E, did you see what I just did? I wasn't in hyperkeys. Let me see if it does it in hyperkeys. It does it in hyperkeys too. So Control E will take you to the fill in the blank. But so will, Josh, just pressing E. Will take you there too. So E or Control E. You don't need to press Control if you're in hyperkeys. Okay? If you're not in hyperkeys, then you have to press Control E. Got it? So is this where you were? It brought you down here? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody got a little ahead and got here and had no idea what was going on, and that's what it was doing. Okay? So say it was, you know, Mr. Bankston, you just come down here and pick Mr. Sutton. Highlight Sutton, okay? See what it did? So it puts all that info in there already. So it already knows. You don't have to type in this information every time. Okay?
Did you press 3 and do that, or no, because there was no numbers listed?
There was no numbers listed, so you just kind of have to go down and highlight it. I think there's a way, and I think we'll come to it later, where there is a way of numbering it. So you can pick a number, or you just highlight it, whatever. Okay? Any questions about that?
So, for us to remember the law firm, you have to physically put it in as a...
You have to put it in the first time. So you have to create a field to fill in. So you'll have to create it the one time. And then every time you get a new attorney, you just put him in your field, because you never know. I'd put him in, because you never know. If you took his deposition once, more than likely you may do it again. So
you might have a lot of attorneys in your field.
yeah. Yeah. A lot.
So would you do that before you take the deposition, or would you do it?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, I would. I mean, just because it makes it easy. You know, if you know that you're. But I mean, it may say Mr. John Sutton is going to take the deposition of the witness Alan Carr. Well, Mr. Sutton got sick that day, and now it's Mr. Krzyzewski showed up. You know, same law firm, but different guy.
Yeah.
But now you have the information for John Sutton in there. So, you know, but maybe, you know, he uses y'all's firm all the time. So you should have both of them in there. You know, maybe he's a new attorney. Maybe Mr. Krzyzewski is a new attorney with the Sutton law firm, So you put his information in there, which is just his name, but it's the same Sutton and Sutton law firm, whatever, same address, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Any questions about that? All right. Braces and dictionaries. Katie, this will be your lesson. And I was picking on Katie just now just because she asked me a question last week about changing the RI to RY, prefix, suffix, blah, blah, blah. Guys, pay attention to this lesson because it's very important, okay? Like I was telling you guys last week, the things that you put in the brackets and leave out of the brackets is very important because if you don't do it the right way, it's not going to know what you're doing and it's going to do something totally different, okay?
Let's see how braces are used for special text within dictionary entries. Eclipse dictionary entries use braces to surround text that must not be inserted literally.
So when you're doing this and you're defining something as simple as a question, guys, think about it. When you're doing a question, one, it's either coming before, it's coming after the byline, setting up the question answer, or it's coming after an answer, then the question. So you have a return, question, period maybe, space, 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 cap next. That's a lot of stuff, okay? That's all you have to do. Bracket, capital Q, bracket. And it already knows to set it up in the return, capital Q, period, space, 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 cap next. It already knows that. You don't have to do any of that. And let me tell you, back in the day, we had to do that. Return, cap, period, space, 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 cap next. Really? Right there. That's all you have to do. That's it. But if you don't put it in that bracket, it's not going to know what to do. Okay? That's why brackets are important. What's that?
How did you get to the special entries? What did they, I don't know if you have to do special keys or, I think I missed that part.
You go into your dictionary.
Oh, just push dictionary.
Go into your dictionary and then there's like special entries.
All right.
Okay?
This includes paragraph symbols, punctuation marks.
See what it's doing right here too? Something as simple as that. So say you don't have colon in there, or say you don't have, you do open parentheses or whatever. That's all you do. Highlight or global, which is what? G. And if it's more than one,
Control G.
Control G. And that's all you do. It already knows, comma, space over, next word. It does all of that for you. All you have to do is do it correct. Okay?
Prefixes.
80. That's all you have to do. But if you don't put that caret in the right place and you put it over here, now you just put it with the word before. Now you just made it a suffix. So now it's
No, the prefix.
as a prefix. So now it's going to be, she presented the movie. Now it's, she present EDTHE movie. You see what I'm saying? It's only going to do what you're telling it to do. Okay? Now it's going to be underlined in red because it's going to say, what the heck is EDTHE? Ethi. Ethi. Or whatever. Okay? So, as long as you set it up right, it's going to know what to do. Okay?
Suffixes and other entries that you don't necessarily make every day. The globaling and dictionary entries dialogues offer help for creating special entries. You can either press Control E or drop down the list.
Guys, this is super good information right here that you should be writing down. And I know you are, right? In that box, I'm going to back it up.
Yeah.
And I know you are paying attention.
Control E.
Right here. Special entries. So when you global something, which is what?
G.
G, this box comes up. Boom. ER. Well, what is that? Emergency room? The ER? I don't know. No. It's a suffix. Oh, okay. Come over here to special entries, or just press Control E, which will drop down the list, and look what it does.
E or drop it.
So it has all of these things. You can delete a space, which is the caret, prefix, suffix, cap next, question, answer. So it sets it up for you already. All you have to do is come into these special entries and find what you need. Okay? So you don't even have to do the Q&A. All you have to do is go into the special entries and start pressing Q, and say this was Q. It's going to stop on that one and keep pressing Q. Now it's going to highlight that one. Is that the one you want? Yeah, that's the one I want. Press enter, puts it in there. Pay attention, look at what it does.
Down the list, where entries require you to.
So now it's a suffix, okay? The ER is a suffix. He selected suffix. You see how it's set up? Bracket, caret, whatever it is, bracket. Okay? Now watch.
Type, as in the case of a suffix, your cursor is automatically positioned at the spot where you need to type.
You see where it was positioned? Before he started typing, it was already there. I'm going to back it up just a bit. See where it is? It's already there. It already knows where to start typing everything. So it knows that it's set up as a suffix, ready to go. All you have to do is just start typing. What do you want?
Automatically positioned at the spot where you need to type text. While globaling, you can use shortcuts to insert symbols for paragraphs or punctuation. Thus, F2 opens the speaker list, so you can choose a name that's already there or insert a new one.
This will kind of be a little bit later on speaker list, but that's how you do it. I'm glad you all are writing that down. F2 is speaker list. Push F2. Does the box come up? Yes.
Yes.
No. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Got it? F2. So let's just say, you have your speaker symbol for speaker 2. Okay? And it just happened to be, let me rewind it a little bit.
Or paragraphs or punctuation.
So you can do any of these things right here too. Y'all know that F3, right, is question? F4 is answer? Huh?
Now I do.
Is that why you're writing it down? F3, question, F4, answer. So let's just say, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I'm going to show you. Say you're right here. Everybody look. You're right here. And you didn't have time to put that question symbol, and you just started writing. No big deal. Whatever. All you have to do is press F3 right there, and it automatically makes a question.
But the cursor has to be there.
Yeah, the cursor has to be there. So wherever the cursor is, so be careful you don't put the cursor right here in between you and N, unless that's where you want the question to start. No, you want it to start right here because that's where he started talking. You press F3 and kind of get in there somewhere and just press F3 and see what it does. Do it.
Oh.
And then just press Z. for the oops. Should take you back. And then do F4. Does the same thing. Guys, those are ones you want to remember too. F3, F4, okay? Got it?
Thus, F2 opens the speaker list so you can choose a name that's already there or insert a new one. F3 inserts the symbol for a question, and F4 an answer. To insert the symbol for a comma, press Control comma. Likewise, Control period.
You see what it's telling you? Now you should have these things already in there, okay? Unless you're making up your own punctuation, you should have these things in there. The only thing that's going to be different is like your speaker identifications, because everybody does them a little bit different. If you use mine, great. If you use the standard ones, great. If you want to create your own, whatever, okay? But if you don't, then you're going to need to put them in there, and that's the way you do it, okay?
For a quick question mark, press Control /.
So when you're defining these things, all you do is just to control whatever, and it automatically puts it in there just like that. So you don't have to type the bracket, question mark, bracket. All you do is control, question mark, and it puts it in there.
So for back to speaker identifications. I mean, in the lesson it's blank right now, but would it still be blank when we go into the eclipse? So there's nothing in the speaker when we press F2. Well, it wasn't nothing in mine. I don't know about everybody else.
Oh, when you open your speaker list?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's okay.
So would it be blank only in the lesson, or would it be blank in Eclipse too once we get out of the lesson?
You're gonna have to see.
Okay.
I mean, because mine has like 10 or 12 already speakers, and they're not really speakers, but it's like judge, witness, caseworker, clerk, bailiff, whatever.
So that's basically when we go build
Attorney 1, Attorney 2, Attorney 3, Attorney 4.
When we go build our dictionary, we basically need to build a speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To what you wanted to say.
All right.
So if you're going to be an independent reporter, you don't need the judge, you don't need the clerk, you don't need caseworker, whatever. You know, videographer, Attorney 1, Attorney 2, interpreter. So yours is going to be it should be pretty small if you just do depositions, okay?
So should you put the witnesses' names, or it doesn't ever say Q&A, or, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Like, do you ever, so these replace the Q&A?
No, what it's going to replace is colloquy. And we'll get to that. Colloquy is when everyone is speaking like you and I are just speaking. This would be colloquy. If somebody's taking it down, it would just be Mr. Zarate, Mr. Josh. Well, I don't know your last name, so that's why I said that. But, you know, it would be whatever, okay? And say, you know, it's question, answer, blah, 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 and the judge goes, what did you say? What was that last answer you said? And the witness goes, oh, it was on 343 Pine Street. Now it's colloquy. It's not Q&A. The judge is asking a question, but the judge doesn't ask questions. Even if another attorney interrupts, it's not their Q&A. It's not set up in their examination, so it's not really Q&A. Unless they go, okay, well, I passed the witness. Mrs. Trevino, do you have any questions? Yes, I do. When you say you went to Pine Street, now it's Q&A.
Yeah,
because they set it up in the Q&A. Now when they say, oh, judge, hold on just a second. I didn't hear that last answer. Have the witness repeat that last answer. Now everything's in colloquy. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. I don't want to confuse you too much, but that's what it is. Okay, so when you have the proper names, that's usually what it's going to be. It's going to be colloquy, or it's going to be the byline. Okay, and the byline is direct examination by Mr. Josh. So it's the byline is right there, by Mr. Josh, question, and then you just start asking questions and answers. Okay, we'll get to it.
There's also Control semicolon and Control colon, which would involve the shift key. Control tilde inserts the symbol for a lock space. However, if you have an entire phrase whose words you want to keep together, you can use the lock button. Press the lock button again, and you'll get hyphens.
Remember I told you that? So you get hyphens or the little tildes that keep it together. So it's the at the door store. You don't want at the door store. You know what I'm saying? You don't want at the door store. It should all be together because it's one store, like Jack in the Box. Well, where did you go eat? Well, we took a short break to go to Jack in the Box. No, that's why Mr. Josh should never be like that either. You don't have the Mr. over here, Josh over here, you're over here, honor over here. It's always together. The tilde keeps it together, okay? And I'm going to tell you another short little, so get your pens ready, is that say you have honor right here and your is over here. Let's just say you didn't put it in your dictionary correct and you wrote it, I mean you had to insert it. Let's just say you inserted it. Your is over here, honor is over here. You put your cursor right here, press shift tilde, and it'll put the last thing that's over here together with this. Okay?
So shift tilde is basically the
It'll lock it
shortcut to
together.
Okay.
It'll lock it. Okay? So let's just say Mr. Josh was over here, and you have Josh down here. You have your cursor on the J for Josh. You push shift tilde, brings the Mr. down, puts it together. You don't have to go up to Mr., push enter a couple of times because it won't come down. All you have to do is a tilde and it knows to lock it together, keep it together. Okay?
Press it a third time to get back to regular spaces. It's a bunch of shortcuts, but it can really save you time.
That lock is pretty good. Okay? So if it's not what you want, just keep doing it and then it'll go back to what it was. Okay? So don't freak out that it put the tildes in there or whatever and it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Just keep pushing lock and it'll go back. Any questions? These are some good examples of how to define things right here. Okay? Pay attention, guys, right here for a second. This one is important too. The speaker paragraph is important. Okay? And that's the way that it has to be set up. Okay? So let's just say you have this is your steno for Mr. Jones. Okay? So how would I put that in my dictionary? Or how would I global it?
Well, you control G at first, right?
Or G, control G,
Okay.
or G, global it. It's gonna come up, the box, then special entries. Yes, yes,
Ah, that's fine.
yeah, yes. Got it? You are correct. It is a speaker, but there's a totally different, easier way to do it. Go into your special entries, find your speaker, select your speaker, and it's going to come up like that. It's automatically going to set it up. Okay? Let me see if it'll do it. Let's just say I'm right here. Global it. Ooh, it's not going to let me come down. Let's see if it. Whoa. All right. Let's just say this was your speaker symbol. Okay? Just for argument's sake. Brings it up, gives you a suggestion. No, that's not what I want. Come to special entries, which is
Control E.
Control E. Now you're here. Okay? So I need what?
Speaker.
Speaker. So it's on special entry, so I push S, it goes to the next special charge. Do I need that? Do I need that?
No.
No. I need speaker. So press S again. Do I need suffix? No. Press S again. Do I need speaker?
Yes.
Yes. Go in there. Already puts the prompt
Nice.
right there. When you're talking about a speaker, one, it should always be capped. Everything is capped. So put your cap locks on. Put Mr. Jones. Already does it. So I'm going to do it for you right here. Put my cap locks on. Mr. Jones. Do I want it in my main?
No.
No, I do not. So what do I need to do?
Control M would be for the main one, right? Or will they open it all up?
Control M puts it in the main. So really what you want to do is you want to come here,
And then drop down.
open it down. Now there's an easier way. I didn't tell you the easier way. I'm going to show you first. Drop it down and you come into a job dictionary, which is Control J. All right? So let's just say you're right there. You want to do it easy. You do Control J. It's going to put it in there. I'm not going to do it because it does it right away. It doesn't ask you, are you sure you maybe? No, it does it. And I don't want to put it in there because I put it in there for that. And it wasn't that. I'm just showing you how to set it up. Okay? So that's how you do it. Walk me through it one more time. I'm right here. That's my symbol for my speaker. What do I do?
G.
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 Special entries.
And then
S.
you'll do Control E.
Control E.
F.
S.
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 Right there.
Enter.
Enter.
And then
Control
type in
J.
the name. Type in
All caps.
All caps. Mr. Jones.
Dropbox.
Control J.
Dropbox.
Control J.
Or Control J. And it's going to put it in there. Guys, do not put that in your main. Okay? But let's just say you did. Okay? Let's just say, for argument's sake, you did. You messed up. No big deal. So now it's, let me see if I can find a spot. Maybe. Go ahead. It doesn't. And I don't want to get too far. So let's just say this was set up in colloquy, where it's the Mr. Jones colon space cap. And that's how it's set up. Okay? To get into the speaker field, what do you push? I don't think y'all know. Really what you can do is just kind of move your arrow over there and kind of put it on. Now it's going to highlight the whole thing. Now you got to go through and global it again. Now let's just say this was where you were. And now it says Mr. Jones, and you put it in your main dictionary as Mr. Jones, so it's going to come up Mr. Jones all the time now. You don't want that. You know what? He was attorney 1. Okay? So I highlighted it. It comes up highlighted. It's like, well, what do you want to do? I want to put him in as attorney 1. So you go to F2. Attorney 1 was number 1. I select 1. Press enter. It puts attorney 1 in there, in the brackets, whatever. Ask colloquy. Press enter. Do I want it in my main?
Control.
Yes.
I do want it in my main because that's the attorney 1. It's not a specific attorney. It's just attorney 1. So that's what I want. So every time this symbol comes up, I want it to come up attorney 1. I don't want it to come up Mr. Jones. Okay? So now you do want it in your main. Just put it back in your main and then redefine it again. So it's going to come up attorney 1, blinking. So how would you set it up? Now you've already set up the speaker, so now it's in a speaker. So you just kind of go in there put your arrow in there, click on it, it's going to highlight it, and then you just go through the thing that I just told you about special entries, blah, 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 Mr. Jones, all caps. Want it in your main? No.
No.
Control J puts it in there. Got it? All right. So all of these things you can do, okay? So let's just say you need a decimal point, okay? That's all you have to do. Bracket, decimal, bracket, and it already knows. And let's just say you do decimal DL, okay? And it's DL right here. How would you define it?
How about define what?
DL.
The deal.
For decimal. For decimal. Not the word decimal, for like decimal point.
Go to G, special entries,
G.
special entries, find the decimal.
I don't know if decimal is in there or not. It may be. It may be. I've never even checked for decimal. But if it's not, then you just do bracket, spell out decimal, bracket, that's it. Now it's in your, and you want it in your main. Okay? Got it? So that's how you do it. This one is real good too. And we're gonna come to that later. But this is where you're, whereupon they broke for lunch, whereupon the attorneys approached the bench, whereupon they went off the record, whereupon states exhibits number 2, 3, and 4 were marked for identification. These are called block files. These are called block files. And there's a bunch of them, bunch of different ones. I only use a few. But it's stuff that you can do on your machine that once you define it, it's automatically gonna come up. Okay? It's actually pretty cool. But that's how you do it. So when you define it, you do
The control G?
G, control G, global it, huh?
I don't know why I keep saying control G.
It's the same, it's the same, it's all right. I mean, it's the same. You're correct, so it's okay. Go to your special entries. Now you come to the auto include, which is gonna be this. It's gonna have this little symbol right here. Don't freak out. All it's asking for is saying something needs to come in here. So once we read in the block files that I'm going to give you, once that cursor is right there, it automatically pops up your block files. Now it asks you, which one do you want? I want the lunch. So I press LU, brings up lunch in the thing, highlight it, put it in there. All it has there is lunch. Okay, do I want it in my main? Yes, I do, because I want it in there every time. Push enter. So every time you do lun, it's gonna have parentheses, whereupon a short recess was had for lunch. That's it. So it's pretty cool. But that's when, we'll start bringing our machines and, mess around. So, I mean, I'm just kind of showing you this because it's an auto include on your special entry. Okay? So I think this is one of them. I think I already did the thing. I didn't read the files back in, so I think we had already done all of them or whatever. So I don't know what y'all's says. What does y'all's little your turn say?
Bless you, by the way.
Right here.
It has like the commas, the semicolons, that stuff.
So it has the steno for it?
Mhm.
Okay. And go through there and do it. Okay? You know what? I'm going to reread it in. For those of you that are doing it online. You'll be a nice guy. Who was laughing? All right. So see right here? So how would I define that?
Here's the G.
G. So see how it comes up? It already comes up. Hey, the other 643 times that you had something similar to that, this is what you used, was A. Guys, you can do it a bunch of different ways. All you have to do is leave out one of these letters so you can think of how many times you can write the answer symbol. So if it doesn't come up, you don't have to keep typing this thing in. To define it, you do what?
G.
God, this is painful. Painful. G, guys. G. 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 It's going to bring it up. Number one. That's all you do. Press enter. And look what it does. How? It does it for you. Okay? Same thing with the question. How do you define it?
G.
G. It's already there. Number one. Press one. Boom. Okay? Let's go down to let's see anything else. What did
What is that FRJ? What is that?
I don't know what it's doing. It's kind of connecting on to something else. Is y'all's like that? Is y'all's like this? Where it has a little slash?
No.
No.
What does it have?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like that. We have questions on question answers.
Okay. I don't know why mine came out like that or whatever, but it's not supposed to be like that. These were supposed to be the questions or whatever, so no big deal.
Supposed to be answer right. They just cut off the T and the F.
Do we actually want to put these in the dictionary?
Well, this is in the lesson, so it's not.
Well,
And it may put it in your dictionary. I don't think it does just because it's in the lesson, so it may not. But it's just showing you how to do it. So like, I mean, y'all already doing Q&A, right? Yeah. So let's just say one comes up and you accidentally added the S. Well, it doesn't know it because you added the S, okay? Well, if you did it once, you're probably gonna do it again. Doesn't hurt anything unless you're trying to define something else like, yes, sir, I don't know what y'all do with those things. I don't do it. Like question ES is answer yes, sir, or I don't know what, you know, but they're gonna show you how to do those too. And if you understand it and you do it that way, then that's fine. As long as it doesn't conflict with something else, then you're okay. If it conflicts with something else, then you better figure it out, okay? Any questions about that?
Yes. Why can't you just like on the other, like on the try it, whatever, why can't you just press F4? Like I did, but it like doesn't answer like the answer rate, but then it also has that FRPE.
That's a good question. Why don't you just press F4 if you need an answer right here? So this is the answer symbol right here. Why not just push F4?
Well, it gave me F4, but it didn't take away my the
other
yeah.
text. Like it gives you answer, but it still has the FRPE. Yeah. Like why?
Yeah.
When do you use that for then?
Like if you forget to put the answer symbol.
Right.
Okay.
The reason you don't, and that's a very good question, Katie, very good question, because she asked, why not just push F4 right there? Well, let's try it. Look what it did. Because by pushing F4, F4 is a function. You're not defining anything. What you need to do is define that because that is a stroke that you're going to use every time. So you have to define it. If you don't define it and you just push F4, the software learned nothing from your writing. So you have to define your strokes. Now you could, I think, let me see, and push F4. You can push F4 then, and it'll put the answer symbol in there. That's very good. But all you had to do was push 1, 2. Not 1, 2. 1 also.
Yeah.
Okay? But Katie asked, why wouldn't you just push F4, or when would you use F4? You would use F4 like if nothing was there. So say the answer started right here. You know, this was, I'm going to delete that and put that as a question, which is what? How do I put a question symbol? F3. Yeah. Maybe I'm not explaining myself, and I apologize. I mean, you know, I'm asking for things that it could be some different, so I apologize for that too. But let's just say the answer started right there. Pay attention to what it's doing. You're in the queue. Answer started right there. There's a comma. This is when you would use F4 because you need your answer. See what it did? Took the comma away, put the question there, question mark, because it knows that it's a question. Puts the answer, cap, ready to go. That's when you would use it. It's when you forget to completely put that answer symbol in there. If you put the answer symbol in there, you need to define it. Okay? My rights here. Any questions about that? And these are the ones for the different other whatever. Okay? So you have period, question mark, semicolon, colon, hyphen. You don't have to do all of that stuff. Comma, space, cap next, blah, 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 whatever, return. You don't have to do all of that. Just put what you want. Make sure it's in the brackets. If you don't put it in the brackets, now you have to do comma, space, cap next, return, whatever you're going to do. Guys, don't do it that way. All you have to do is just the bracket, okay? If you don't do it with the bracket, then you're doing it wrong. And all it's going to do is put the comma. So now it's going to be, we went, but, so now it's we went, comma, no space, but. Because you didn't tell it to space over and do whatever, okay? Because you got lazy and didn't put it in the brackets. That's all you have to do. Put it in the brackets. That's how important the brackets are. It tells the software what to do with what you're putting in there, okay? So it makes it easy for you.
When you write quickly, your steno machine may register separate strokes as if they were written at the same time. Eclipse composite dictionary entries can unscramble this mess. This one dictionary entry performs 3 steps. First, it creates a quick...
That's what I was talking about. This mess right here. And if you do it, great. If you understand it, great. Whatever, okay? Do it correct, and it'll do what you want it to do. If you don't do it correct, it's gonna come out like gibberish. You're gonna have a Q, yes, period, all at the end of that sentence. It's gonna have done nothing, 0, okay? Because you didn't put it in the brackets correct. And you don't put yes in the brackets because it's part of the context. It's part of the body. So you don't want it in there. When you put it in the brackets, it's telling the software to do something. Do something with this. And it already knows what to do. Okay? So somebody was asking me about who put those. It was you. Yeah. So LaRosa had asked me about doing it because she uses them. You know what? Great. And if it helps you, great. That's the whole point of it, is to help you write faster by doing 3 things. You're putting Q, yes, period, all in one stroke. If you understand it, if you do it, fantastic. I don't. So I don't use it. But if you do, that's how you have to do it, okay? So be real careful with the way that you do it. I'm going to back it up a little bit.
But this one dictionary entry performs 3 steps. Composite dictionary entries can unscramble this mess.
So you see what it is right here? So it's question, yes, period. Just that little E is the yes. Really? I don't know. Yeah, if you understand it, great. That whole thing is a perfectly good stroke if you understand it, okay? Just define it correct.
This one dictionary entry performs 3 steps. First, it creates a question paragraph, then it inserts the word yes, then it ends the sentence with a period. Here, a suffix s was written, immediately followed by a question stroke. Eclipse understands a glance at the list, its choice.
What choice would it be? Three.
Oh,
Three.
yeah, because the S.
Because the S comes with, it was 2 bottles, question, okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be number 3. Okay? Do y'all understand that? Guys, be careful when you select these things. Look it over again, and then call your mom over and have her look at it. You know, make sure that it's correct, because once you do it, now it's in the dictionary. No, it's not in the dictionary. Yeah, it is in the dictionary because you're global in it. So it's not out of a selection. Now, if you're picking it out of the auto magic, it's no big deal. Okay? It's not putting it in your dictionary or whatever. Once you've globaled it and put it in there and put it in the dictionary, now it's in the dictionary, regardless of whether it's the main or the job dictionary. Okay?
3. Of course, I could have also gotten help from the special entries list, but because of the global magic features, even that help was not needed. I'll place this in my main dictionary.
Got it? Those are called composite globals. So if you're hooking something on to something else and you're actually trying to do that, not stacking, everybody knows what stacking is, right? Like when you're writing too fast and your finger just doesn't come up enough and you're already stroking the other one and it puts it together, that's stacking, okay? Stacking is different from composite. Now if you do it a lot, you may want to start doing some composites, because you're doing composite and don't even know you're compositing. All right? But, you know, and a lot of times it's going to be with word endings. G, D, S, T, all of those, okay? So you see how it's set up right here? So if you want to do question okay, you can do it in one stroke. If you understand it, if you like it, if it reads here, great, use it. Fantastic. Put it in there correctly, okay? Don't put bracket, Q, okay, period, bracket. You just messed it all up, okay? Be careful with what you're doing, okay? So this is one of them here, okay? Your answer sounds rude to me, is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be me, comma, okay? So how would we put it in our dictionary? G. So see what it does? It already kind of knows, well, it could be Marx. I do Americans like that. Merc is America. Mercs is America. Americans. Americans is Mercs for me. But whatever. But that's not what you wanted. You know what? I want a composite because that's how I do me, period. Okay. Which one is it? 1. Enter. Already does it. That's all you have to do. Okay? So it's already going to pretty much know what you're wanting to do when you're global and stuff. What did you want to do here? What's FPLT?
Period. Period.
Period. 1.
Can we say that?
Huh?
You can't hear.
I don't listen after 5. Okay? So here's one right here.
What's that?
What's that? Parentheses.
Ooh.
Paren. Okay?
Paren.
So how would I define it?
G.
Then Control G,
Control G.
Oh, control G.
because it's the 2 strokes together.
Uh-huh.
No, I
Now
don't-
you have to put it in. So what if I did GG? What's it gonna do?
We're gonna highlight the whole, the next one.
No.
What you
If I
say?
do G in hyperkeys,
Oh, I don't.
if I do G one time, what's it gonna do?
Global.
If I do G another time, what's it gonna do?
Is it gonna,
Right, G?
It's gonna write the letter G. Remember? So G only globals one thing. Control G is the continuation of however many strokes you had. Okay? So you can do G, then you have to do Control G because it's 2. Which one would it be?
Special entries.
One?
Or just 1? Yeah.
What if it didn't give you the option? Where do you go to get it?
That's
What?
me too.
I think you can come to special entries.
Oh, yeah, special entries. Parenthetical.
No,
parentheses, look for parentheses.
P.
P.
it's not in there.
Oh, it's not
That's
in
1.
there.
So not all of them are in there. You know, like your basic ones are in there, period. Question, answer. I think period's in there. Yeah, period's not even in there. So I thought it might have punctuation where it would open another box.
I said, I don't see none of the punctuation in there.
Yeah.
I see it online, I see the period, the question mark, the comma.
Mm-mm.
So.
Mine didn't have it on there.
In the special entries?
Nope.
I have it on.
Well, it gives it to you in the little box. If it doesn't, then all you have to do is the bracket, parentheses, bracket.
You have to type it in like a peasant.
Ah, dog. Now you want everything handed?
You made me this way.
Yeah. And then that's all you do, press enter, and it does it.
Word smart.
Mm-hmm. So the same thing with dash. How would we do it?
G,
G,
control G,
Dash.
Control G.
and 1.
Which one is it?
1.
1.
Oh.
And it does it.
I think we need to project our voice a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Speak up. Don't be scared.
It doesn't do it.
She was eating Doritos the other day. I couldn't hear. All right.
Tom got it.
Now, if you're eating Doritos, that's different, but.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think I got it.
What's that? You got what?
I guess because I haven't like learned all of the punctuation yet, so I'm a little confused. Because
Oh,
I don't
you-
know how to do like parentheses and everything. So.
Yeah. I mean, it should come up. So, like, if you, I mean, you should have punctuation in your dictionary already.
Yeah.
It should come in there already. You know, when you get you get like a small dictionary of all the stuff, is, the, and, blah, 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 punctuation, that kind of stuff. So it should already be in there. But if you do it a different way, then that's how you do it. Any questions? And if you come down a little bit further, it's going to give you the answers. Did we go over that? If you go a little bit further, it kind of gives you the answers of what it should have been. Okay? So say you did it wrong and you came over here and you just put period, enter, and you didn't put the brackets. One, you're going to know once you do it that it was wrong. And two, when you come down here, you're going to see that it was not done right. You're going to have to redefine it, which is
Deep? No, I don't know.
no.
I don't know. Like,
How do you put it in your dictionary?
oh,
Global. Just global it again. Just global it again. And instead of, it's going to come up just a period. Now you put it in the brackets. It's probably going to come up as that in the brackets. Select whatever, put it in there. Okay?
Got it.
Any questions? No? Okay. I think that's going to probably do us for tonight. Guys, once again, we are covering a lot of information. Okay? And this is important stuff. Please use this stuff. Use it. Okay? And you're getting better. But I think it's more because I'm asking you and asking you and asking you the same things. It should come to you because you've been using it, okay? Especially that G.
Especially that G.
What's
I
up?
hate the letter G.
I.
I. Right?
J.
J.
L.
L.
Right?
L.
Left?
J.
Down?
K.
All right. Are y'all using that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Guys, apparently not, because some of it are.
We push it.
Oh.
We know the wrong way, we know to push the next letter.
Now you're lying.
Yeah, capital Q. No, no. So use that stuff. Those are really important. Okay? Any questions? No?
No.
All right. We'll see y'all next week.
Okay. I want to
Stop
show
it.
you something.